Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to something I've kind of wanted to sort of discuss in my own words for a little bit of a while now. Now, apparently, over the last my memory of how this entire story started, I believe it started with the video game Elden Ring, and it also went on to I believe it was called Mischief or something like that. He basically wanted to make a video about it might have been the Act Man or something like that. Somebody was doing a video about extremely bad takes on Elden Ring. People give it very low reviews, and then one picked up a clip by this YouTuber called Quantum TV, and then sort of Quantum TV sort of went on what I can only describe as a rampage of basically inflicting fake copyright claims on videos and essentially trying to get people's channels removed doing this. Anytime anybody talked about it, which, let me tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just gonna go on the limb right now. I have been a victim to copyright trolls in the past, because the problem is that they are very, very dangerous. These people will, it doesn't matter. The idea of fair use means absolutely nothing to these people. They will relentlessly just go in, just report to YouTube, spam, have this guy taken away, and that's it. The only other guy I've known in the past to do this was a guy called Noah, who was basically trying to get clout for his YouTube channel by interviewing Christine Weston Chandler, and that's the biggest one right there, because he was also the guy who tried to get a claim on Gibby's channel, who tried to get him taken down as well. Now, that's all well and good, but I'm not here to talk about that, because I kind of wanted to talk about something that I kind of want to make a point about. Now, I am a religious man, ladies and gentlemen. I am a Roman Catholic. I've been baptized. I've gone through First Holy Communion. I've been confirmed in the church for the last 10 years. I frequently, in fact, actually, for the last nearly 2 years now, I've been doing the first two readings on a Sunday morning, because that's just when I go. I go to Mass on a Sunday morning on my own. And I get very, very concerned, ladies and gentlemen, when it's not when people bring God in or religion into a conversation. I have not really got much of an issue about that myself, and it's just one of those things. If people want to bring it into it, and whatever, if it means anything, then go right ahead. It may not mean much to you, but it might mean much to them, and we can I believe. Listen, the way I orchestrate my channels, the way I conduct myself, I try to make it so a lot of the things I talk about, we talk about maturely, respectfully. We try and, we shouldn't have no prejudice on this channel whatsoever. We should not be sneering or giggling or, making faces or pointing at people behind their backs. This should be my channels are something, my videos are like a refuge, a safe place, a haven, sanctuary. People where you should just be allowed to relax, take the weight off your feet, and we can all have a good time. I do this just because I think that's absolutely fair, and it's considering there's a lot of vitriolic and very noisy behaviours on the internet as well. Twitter, TikTok, everywhere on the internet, to be honest. We should try to make these places, relaxing and inviting for anyone who wants to come and watch. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I want to make an example out of this. Now, I understand there's several things Quantum TV wrote, and where he's gone on about hypocrisy and his very, I'm going to call them very anti-Christian beliefs. Now, listen, let's get the first thing out of the way. Even though I might call some of Quantum's words here very anti-Christian, that does not mean to say he is not a Christian himself. That's completely, it is his choice if he wants to be a Catholic or not. That's absolutely, I'd imagine, up to him. The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, is that, let's just get into it. Okay, so this was taken the 24th of March earlier this year, 2022. I just want to thank everyone for sticking with me. It's obvious most of these other reviewers like Stop the Fomo, Digital Trends and HDTV Test are just Satanists in disguise. Now, for the purpose of this video, we're going to sort of like just ignore the bad grammar for 1 second. But first of all, Satanist in disguise. A few things I kind of like want to point into that. What do you mean Satanists? Now, are you trying to... Now, this is again... this is going to be a point about this, is that any Catholic person would immediately say, no, they're not Satanists. They're still normal people. And you should be like... If you want to like make an example of yourself, if you want to say, I will acknowledge these things, I will understand why they've said them. I've looked back. Some of my things are a little bit like biased and not professional. Anyone with any degree of like self-respect or like or the ability to look through somebody else's eyes, that's the biggest thing you're going to be noticing is not prevalent in this. Because listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't go around calling people Satanists, the devil, or anything like that, because one, I think it makes me look nonsensical and stupid, but also because that's not really what I think. And sort of part of me also thinks the same thing. Does Quantum like really think these things, or is it just what he wants to say just to get a rise out of people? That's the problem I have. I think this is just for attention. From who? We'll continue. Because I'm pretty sure when people write stuff like this on Discord, I don't imagine this is the sort of thing that they want to have made public. But let's continue. Every time I've seen one of their videos, you can tell they are trying to brainwash the masses into their gay, liberal, satanic, atheist agenda. Again, very bold words, Quantum. I seriously... Now, again, I would say, again, if this is what Quantum really believes in, if this is him being honest to God truth and being sincere, two things I've got to say about that. Number one, just because you can does not mean you should. Second, do you really think people are going to be absolutely fine with this? At what point do you think when Quantum was typing all of this up, does he think maybe this is a bad idea? And I'm serious about this. Do people who write this homophobic slander, all of this like BS, because and bringing religion, atheist agenda as well, like that's liberal. It's like, what is the point about this? Okay, I understand there's quite a lot of people. Okay, interesting enough, apparently there was meant to be like a comedy a stand-up show with Ricky Gervais a couple of days ago on Netflix, where he sort of made jokes at the expense of trans people and woke persons generally, and he said that if you do find this the jokes in this offensive, feel free to go back to the box office and write out a complaint form where you probably will not get a refund, and I will simply wipe my arse with your complaints. Now the thing is then, again, that's just part of... I like the part about that is that Ricky Gervais says, because I know perfectly well, and I imagine a lot of people will know as well, is that Ricky Gervais's material is not really for that sort of thing. You know what I mean? He talks about it, he jokes about those sort of things, and if you do find those things, offensive or anything like that, you know what? Not watching it is also the issue. If you try and want to write in and try and get, Ricky Gervais cancelled or banned, there's somebody at some point is simply going to take his place. Probably may do it even worse. And then where do we go? Somebody has got to be... There's got to be they appeal to a certain market of some kind. The difference, however, ladies and gentlemen, is that Ricky Gervais, he does it as a joke. Quantum, there is no joke here. So is Quantum being serious, or is he literally... Because I don't really feel like he's joking around here. He says this... I think like there's a way you can like look into a piece of text and say, this was meant with sincerity and it's spoken like without really the pretense of a joke or anything like any irony whatsoever. There is no irony into any of this whatsoever, apart from the fact that maybe Quantum TV is saying that, you know, guys like Digital Trends and Stop the Fomo, it's in reality Quantum is the one brainwashing people and to start having people see them as all of these connotations. But unfortunately, again, who in their right mind would believe that? That's the problem. That's the big thing as well. Quantum, you're not going to be winning anyone over this. And again, let's keep going. 1 minute someone could be watching Stop the Fomo, and the next minute they start having anal sex with their dads, doing coke and trying to conjure demons with satanic rituals. Satanic influence isn't a joke. Okay, first of all, let me just go over this right now, just so we've got everybody clear about this. What are you talking about, Quantum? What on earth are you talking about? You're saying that 1 minute people will be watching for Stop the FOMO, and then you're saying that people will be doing drugs, having sex with their relatives, and then trying to do satanic rituals. Quantum, no one is going to believe that. No one is going to do that either. And moreover, Quantum, how about you try and focus on like saving your own reputation? How about you trying to show everyone out there that you're meant to be like this bigger person? Why can't you do that, Quantum? Why is it easier to do this than to do the opposite? That doesn't sound like, you know, a very like. Again, well, let's just keep going. It was obvious already when Stop the FOMO ended up using the Lucifer logo to praise Satan and claimed he was just testing for blooming. I don't really know what that means, and I highly doubt... I'll tell you what, I'll take a look at him right now. Let's see. Does he use like a Lucifer logo? I mean, I don't think so, but no, he doesn't. It's not there. So again, that doesn't really mean much. Also, again, it's just an image, by the way, Quantum, is that if you want to like take any just don't look at it. You know what, you can, again, just like the Ricky Gervais analogy I made earlier, you can always just not look at it or not be influenced by it. You do realize, Quantum, your sense of of self-control is a lot stronger than that. You don't have to just do things because you're like immediately dismayed or disheveled into going the opposite direction. You've got to understand that there's got to be some logic as to why you're consciously making those decisions. Because it's at this point where I'm absolutely going to go on a limb and say that I think absolutely Quantum is consciously aware of what he's doing. He's got to know that he's doing these things, and people are not going to particularly think much of him after this. But this keeps going, by the way. God, I hate atheists with their satanic rituals. Interesting enough, he starts with God and then he immediately goes into hate. Anybody who does that sort of thing, in my opinion, is, to be honest, should not be preaching about faith or religion when all that they've got to say is hatred. Because the reason why I'll bring this up is because we should be... It's more about personal philosophy for me than it is about why other people might take an issue towards it. More like an Imran, a priest, a rabbi, a bishop, etc., etc. For me, my philosophy has been we should be learning how to work together, not fight each other. Because look at the world we live in, ladies and gentlemen. Look at all the conflict, look at all the fighting, the suffering, poverty, death, disease, famine, all over the world. Why on earth do we want to make more of that? Can we not make amends? Can we not do that instead? And then why do we have to immediately start, coming up with all these slanderous and preposterous lies about other people that's based on nothing, and is meant for whatever reason. I don't understand this. This is a bit like that crazy, like, religious lady from Edward Scissorhands who immediately calls Edward, the spawn of Satan, and that he should, like, the power of Christ should compel him. That's that, except this is apparently a real person. Anyway, every one of these people are going to hell and suffer for eternity. They need an ass kicking from some Christians. I am not a violent person, ladies and gentlemen. And that's that. I've got nothing else to add about that. I'm not a violent person. So, no, Quantum, I am not going to be... I may be Christian, but I'm not going to start kicking people's asses. That's like... And also, I don't really think Stop the Fomo is the one who should be, like, saying this to. Quantum... Who is telling... Is someone like... who? I want to know exactly what Quantum, like, was ever taught about Christianity when he was growing up, or in school, or in church, where he thinks... I mean, I know apparently this guy grew up in Miami, I think, but I don't really think to the confines of the Sunshine State would ever permit this sort of thing. In fact, I don't really think it would be permitted anywhere, to be honest. And there are some really backwards parts of America tonight that will preach the complete opposite, the anti-Catholicism, as it will. Anyway, also, all the troll comments from satanic atheists are getting banned. So apparently anybody who outrightly criticizes Quantum for basically talking out of his backside. Now, again, the problem here is that I'm trying to be as fair as possible by trying to be like, I disagree with you, Quantum, but please try better. Try to understand exactly why people would have an issue with the way you talk. Unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure. I think I might be clutching at straws a little bit on this, but I'm not prepared to, like, give up on him. That's like, I should try harder. I should try and, to understand. But what exactly? What exactly was done? What was done so badly to Quantum that he feels like this is the most appropriate way to respond? Was it before or after he made fake strikes on other people? Is it before or after people called him out on his Elden Ring review by saying it was very biased and very short-sighted? Is that what this is all about? Because some people, I'd imagine, were probably saying, you should get over yourself. That's what I think it is. Hang on. Okay. All the satanic gay atheist people accusing me of being a coward for deleting my video. I only had to delete them because of YouTuber's gay agenda instead. I think gay agenda instead of people getting upset at me. Why don't they just let me be? Well, you know what, Quantum? Because apparently, if these rumors are true, you had a lot of not very nice things to say about gay people long before this anyway. So, Quantum, you have done... Again, okay, this is what I don't understand about this. Has Quantum, like, not worked it out yet? Is that it? I think that just literally might be the source of all this. Quantum just does not get why people would have an issue with him because of the things he said and the things he's done. You know what? Making false copyright strikes against people when they're completely fallen the realms of fair use is a very bad thing to do because it makes you look toxic and it makes you look extremely power hungry. Saying all these things by calling people Satanists, accusing people who watch certain videos and then will immediately have sex with their dads is not cool because it makes you look childish. Your credibility for your opinions, it loses the weight drops all the way out of your body, so you're just left with a skeleton of whatever the hell your point was supposed to be in the first place. And finally, this will draw more ire towards you and more criticism. So, Quantum TV's response by lambasting people, calling them all of these names, has the exact opposite problem of people just letting quantum be. You know what? I like to imagine that I could literally disappear from YouTube like tomorrow and nobody would really care. And sometimes, again, I wonder if maybe that's the better thing to do. Because at least I would be able to look back and say, the things I've left behind, you know what? Maybe I didn't do the most substantial or the most important things in the world, but at least I didn't do this shit. Because they are heterophobic, anti-Christian pieces of shit. I don't want to participate in the anal sex the liberal people tell me to. I'm assuming what they actually told him was to shove his comments, his vitriolic language, his hypocrisy, and his Elden Ring video, and all of his copyright strikes, and tell them to shove them up his ass. I think that's what they might have said. I have nothing to verify this, by the way. I don't want to... Okay. Remember to stay strong in the faith of Christ who died for our sins. God loves you and love will prosper. Pray, heart, hands together emoji, cross, heart emoji. Okay, God, see, again, quantum, if you, now listen, again, Christian you may be, quantum, but you can't just go on a tirade of BS and nonsense and this sort of behaviour and then immediately side it off with saying that God be with you all. Quantum, it does not work like that. Yes, you can put it at the end of it, but you have to understand is that people will not particularly see any sense of love whatsoever from this. This was like not written out of love. This was written out of pure spite. And this sort of behavior is just like, what in the hell is wrong with you, Quantum? Like, I'm actually quite upset about that because why? What am I supposed to take away from that? Let's because there are other things as well. I mean, I could go on to like some of the other things he says in tweets. Gay marriage needs to be shut down. Give them the rights they seek. But give us back our religious freedom. Quantum, listen, I'm not from America, but I do know that it is a law in America that, you know what, you have the rights to like vote and to worship God in your own way. You know what, Quantum, there was nothing against this before, and it's covered in the Constitution anyway. So, Quantum, you know what, you have your rights. Why don't they have their rights as well? Quantum, think about this. It's not for this is what again I have to tell people about, you know, people who were like pissed off 8 years ago when it comes to like gay marriage being legalized. It's not for you. If you're not gay, if you're straight, why can't they have it? You know what? Why can't you just stand aside and just let gay people, you know, just let them be married? I have a really good friend I've known for the last 8 years of my life. She's been married for the last 2 years. Her and her wife absolutely love the bones of each other. They have a house of their own. They didn't come from the best places. They have 3 beautiful dogs, a motorbike, a Mini Cooper. They are living their best life. Why would you want to take that away from them? And then you immediately just... marriage is not a gay right. It is a religious practice. Joining 2 faithfully people into one flesh under God for the family. That makes me almost wonder what sort of family Quantum must have grown up in, if that's literally what he thinks, or what people are telling him to think. That's replying to real Donald Trump. Okay, maybe I've just answered my own question. Ah, God. Marriage is not a gay right. Well, why? What about a human right then? Is it not their right to be happy as much as anyone else? Are they harming anybody in doing this? Shame on you, Quantum. Shame on you. And there's just one more here, and then I'm done with this. I'm not going for any further about this. You have LGBT kissing in church, but we're bigots for rejoicing this hateful content. Ugh. Why would you, a Pulse victim? Okay, that's it. I'm done with this. Whew. Quantum. I just want to state right now, you know what? The person inside me, like right now, is telling me, you know what, to forgive you for what you've said. And you know what? I'll do that. I'm actually going to do that right now. You know what? Like I said, you know what? I'm a man of my word, so I will do it. Quantum TV, for all the horrible things you just said right there, I forgive you. I forgive you for what you've just said. That probably takes a lot more guts than you might think. Also, it's because I don't really feel like I'm the person who really should be forgiving you. It's rather that all the people you've offended by saying that. And you know what? Again, I've had gay friends, and some of them would probably be a lot less forgiving than me. Let me just say that for the record. But you know what? Again, I'll just say this right now. Quantum, I forgive you for what you've said. However, you've got to stop this. You've got to cut this shit out like now. And even though I know that was said like just over 2 months ago, but where do you think this is all going to end, Quantum? Do you really where do you think this is going, Quantum? I'm serious about that. Forget about Elden Ring, forget about Mischief, forget about the Axeman, forget about all those people just a second. What on earth do you think people will say when they look back at you, Quantum? Is this the sort of life you imagined you would be having? Am I the sort of person you would imagine would be calling you out on this stuff? Am I the sort of person who should be the one forgiving you? Should I be the person? Should I be as big as I am in forgiving you when it's more than likely, Quantum, you'll just be calling me a satanic, anti-Catholic piece of shit too? How do I know I'm not just going to be thrown into the bargain for good measure? Because one thing I know for certain, Quantum, and I will absolutely guarantee, if you watch all this video up to this point, I know fine well you're going to be saying this. And I know fine well what you're going to be saying as well. You'll be saying, enjoy having a copyright claim strike. Enjoy living in fear. Enjoy the fact that you could have all of your channels taken away from you like that. That is your approach, Quantum, isn't it? That's what you're thinking about right now. Well, Quantum, you know what? I long for the day when you do that. I long for the day when a bully and a coward and a troll like yourself come up to the surface and then immediately show your face to the world, and then boom, I get a strike. I dare you to do it. Because if you do, Quantum, I will promise you here and now, I will rescind my apology to you for everything you said, and I don't really feel like I should be apologizing or forgiving you for that, but God help me, I'm going to be the bigger man here. It's a lot harder than it sounds, and really, really hard right now because of what I think you're going to do next. But if you do that, not only will I rescind my apology and my forgiveness to you, Quantum, I will demand an explanation. I will be demanding from you why you did it. I will be demanding to you about where, at any point in my video, did anything I say or show felt like it was a bad thing against you. You wrote those things, Quantum. It's part of being an adult, Quantum. Take accountability, take responsibility. They teach you that in the Bible as well. I want you to understand that, Quantum, because trust me. You really think anybody else is going to forgive you after this? Do you think anybody would really even be giving you the first, like, benefit of the doubt? Because, to be honest, I haven't. Which kind of makes, again, my idea of forgiving you sound even more confusing, because I almost feel like I'm wasting my time. But you know what? Prove me wrong, Quantum. For the first time in your life, prove people wrong. And you know what? Now's the time, Quantum, because like I said, there might not be tomorrow. There just might not. Think about that.